Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. You can visit their website at www.indianasfinest.com. And my guest today is Mallory Duncan. Mallory from INDOT, the Indiana Department of Transportation. We have a big week coming up this week.
We do. It's one of our favorite weeks of the year.
So, and it is, and because not only is it kind of the kickoff to the start of the work zone season, although the season goes year round, it's an opportunity to spotlight the safety and the awareness that needs to happen in these construction zones. And that safety is not just for the workers, right?
Right, exactly. So, you'll start to see a lot more orange cones out there. We do have them out year round as we're doing different projects, but we're truly getting into the thick of construction season here in Indiana. And as we all know, that includes a lot more workers on the roads while other people are driving. So yes, this Work Zone Safety Week is not just for our INDOT workers, that you see in the neon yellow and green out on the highways and interstates and really everywhere, but also drivers as well.
One of the important statistics that not a lot of people realize is more people are injured and killed in work zones that aren't workers. They're the people in the cars that are driving through. And so that's part of this safety awareness. It's not just to keep our workers safe, which is of utmost importance, but it's to keep everybody safe.
We want everyone to go home to their families at night. And that is just really something that we're promoting this year, but also every year and every day. We love this week because it's a time that we can talk about work zone safety and really get people to remember that these workers on the highway, they have families to go home to as well. But also we want to keep, people safe driving along in these construction zones.
And it is, although this is a national campaign, but we're not real proud of the statistic that Indiana ranks pretty high when it comes to work zone injuries and fatalities, the totality of all of them. So this is really important for us here in Indiana as well, that we get that message out, and there'll be a lot of effort put forth this week, and all that effort's worth it if we can save one life.
Exactly, and this is a record-breaking construction year for us too. We're going to be out along a lot of the roadways this summer and into the fall. So you're going to see us everywhere, and we really just want to bring awareness to this whole safety.
So in other words, if you're driving like a knucklehead through one zone, speeding as fast as you can, a couple miles later, you're probably going to come into another zone.
You're going to find another one.
So you might as well slow down and enjoy the scenery.
Exactly, the whole way.
Yeah. So again, April 8th through the 12th is National Work Zone Safety Awareness Week. What are some things that INDOT are going to be doing here locally in the state of Indiana to promote this?
Yeah, so like you said, it's a national campaign. We kind of want to jump on the national bit just a little bit. They kick that off in Washington, D.C. at the start of the week, but we definitely have a big event planned at the beginning of this week. We want people to come out and see a fake crash site. That's something that we really want to show you what it's like when you're driving even a little above that posted speed limit in those construction zones, what could happen. And we want people to see, this could happen, but this is what we're trying to prevent.
This is a perfect opportunity for all the people out there that want to see a crash, because I can't tell you how many people I see when I'm on the side of the road with a minor crash or a significant crash, driving by rubbernecking, taking pictures, videos. So why don't you come out to this event?
Exactly.
You can get up close and personal. You could probably even touch it if you want to.
Right.
But the whole idea behind this is to give some reality behind the dangers of this. I've always said this, that when you're standing on the side of the highway, you're inches from death at all times. Mm-hmm. Inches from death. And some people don't realize that. And yet we have these workers that have to spend 8, 12, or even more hours standing inches from death.
Well, it's their whole work day. I mean, a lot of us go in, we work in an office, we sit down behind our desk and we're completely safe, the whole day long. And some people don't realize these, that's their job. That's their office. So what we're really promoting this year is drive like you work here. You wouldn't drive your car, 50 miles, 60 miles an hour through your office site where there are desks and people working on computers. And we just want to give the perspective that it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. there's still people on the side of the road right there, and that's their job. That's their office every day.
Yeah, and that's, you bring up an interesting point about drive like you work there. A lot of times, whenever I pull somebody over for not slowing down or moving over, whether it's for me or for somebody else, I try to put it in perspective for them. I say things like, my 7-year-old son would appreciate you slowing down for me, or my 4-year-old son, or my wife.
Yeah.
And sometimes people lose track of that.
Right.
And so it's important to understand that person that's standing on the side of the road has loved ones that they want to go home to, just like you're trying to get home to your loved ones. So if everybody just thought like that, if everybody put that into perspective, I think it'd be much safer.
Yeah, and that's why we really take advantage of this week. That's just a way to really promote that as the construction season starts, as you start to maybe get a little frustrated with all those orange cones out there. These are real people on the side of the road, and they want to get home too.
Everybody has a job, and the purpose of that job, everybody that has a job, the purpose is to support your family, essentially. And, trust me, these construction workers don't enjoy working on the side of a highway where cars are speeding by at 60 or 70 miles an hour, but it's what they have to do to provide for their family. And so keep that in perspective. That's their job. They deserve to have a safe place to work.
Yeah, exactly. And we want them to be able to do their job to the best of their ability, and get out of that construction zone fast so everyone can go in all of the lanes. And they can't do that if people are, flying by, and they have to take a lot of, precautions with the area that they're working.
And I know that there's regulations, there's code, there's laws, there's all these things about what a work zone has to look like. And a lot of thought process goes into that. And people may not realize the planning that goes into where signs are placed. You don't just put a sign up. It's a specific amount of feet from exits and hills and curves, and all these things go into account. So if you start seeing those orange signs, warning of a construction zone, that's time to double your attention and really focus on what's ahead.
Well, and not only that, but we try to put those signs out early, so you can be aware that, hey, this is coming. Be aware that maybe when you're driving to work, you might be affected by this area in the next week or so. We really want to prepare people for these, work zones. But also, not only, we have planners and designers that place those signs and decide where they go, but also they do our traffic control, so they know what to post the speed limit as too. I mean, I don't think people realize that as well. It's not just an arbitrary number that we just choose to make you slow down. It's a design. It's all designed to keep everyone as safe as possible.
Again, we want to thank everyone for tuning in, whether you are listening to us on a radio station or tuning in on YouTube. Thankful for the efforts of Tom Trial, who makes us visible to you on YouTube each and every week. You're listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance. Our guest is Mallory Duncan from INDOT, and we're talking Work Zone Safety Awareness Week. And we just spoke about the planning that goes into these things. I think part of that generates some complacency as well. Sometimes you'll see these signs pop up, and for days and days and maybe even weeks you drive through there and no work is happening, and eventually you start ignoring those signs, and before you know it, the work zone pops up right in front of you. So again, it's important to know that those signs are purposefully put out there in advance.
Yeah, and I just want to say that you may not see work going on out there, but there is, work being done either behind the scenes or, like we said before, just to get you aware before the construction actually comes. There's a lot that has to be done behind the scenes before you actually see INDOT workers out there or our contractors out there. So just be aware.
Yeah. And, I know one of the frustrating, probably the most common complaints you get is I sat in traffic for 45 minutes, and when I finally got there, there was no work happening. There were just cones in the middle of nowhere. Well, what they didn't see is the work that was happening. Now those patches have to dry, or they're moving equipment, or whatever that may be. Just understand that our goal is to keep that roadway open as much as we can. We don't just close roads for fun because it creates headaches for everyone, but it's important that we safely close those lanes and those roads so that people can work there.
Well, and not only that, the reason we're closing them is to keep the roads safe, and we want to keep those roads safe for Hoosiers, throughout the whole year. So if we're doing work in that area, it's because someone has decided that road is getting older, or maybe it has some structure issues, and we just want to get ahead of that and keep it safe for everyone driving.
Yeah, and again, it's about the safety of everyone, not just the workers. That's very important. But again, we have a lot of crashes in these work zones because people aren't paying attention. I think one of the biggest frustrating points of any work zone is the merge. And it is the person who's saying, I've been waiting in this line for 15 minutes. I am not letting anybody get in front of me. Mm-hmm. And so either they'll block the lane or they'll get up so close that they won't allow. And what they don't realize is they're only making it worse.
Yes.
If you think about the way a zipper works, and we talk about a zipper merge, if every person who drives a car would buy into this zipper merge idea, there would be no backups at these work zones.
Exactly.
And so that's one of the problems. So talk about how to safely merge at a work zone. When you start seeing that says lane closed ahead, what is the appropriate thing to do?
I mean, the first thing, hopefully that doesn't cross your mind. We don't want you to fly up, the open lane because everyone's starting to get over. We want you to be able to safely merge into the other lane, look for an opening. And if you are in that lane already, allow them a safe spot to come into the lane. And hopefully we won't have people, flying up to the front of the work zone and then trying to get over, which just creates problems for everyone and makes everyone more frustrated.
It is very frustrating. And there's two things that I'll appreciate is I think all of us at some point or another found ourselves caught out in that lane. And you either have to stop to try to get over, which probably isn't safe, or you just have to keep going until you can find a place to get over. I would appreciate a turn signal on. Turn your turn signal on. That lets me know that, hey, you're making an effort to get over. Hopefully somebody will see you, allow some space, and you can get over. But simple things like that. But again, there are those that out there that intentionally zip to the front, knowing that somebody eventually is going to let them in. And that causes a big problem too.
It does.
Impatience. Again, you heard Mallory say earlier, there's a lot of construction zones this summer. There's no reason to be in a hurry to get anywhere because if you fight your way through one unsafely, you're likely going to find yourself in another one.
Within minutes.
Sure.
That's how much we're going to be out there this summer. And even, right now, like we started a couple weeks ago, and we're going to continue, and it'll just, increase. The volume of orange cones is going to increase. So,
and you're talking about the number of planned zones. There's also emergency zones that pop up normally, and again, those emergency zones don't always have the same safety protocols in place because they're emergency zones. Maybe just cones or barrels versus the barrier walls, and so those are even more unsafe.
Right, exactly. Like we said before, we want everyone to be safe on the roadways, and whether it's an emergency zone or a construction zone that's been planned, it's been there, you know about it, just really watch your speed through those.
Orange signs. The only orange signs you will see on the road are indicating construction. And so if you see those orange signs, take them seriously. What are some things that NDOT are going to be doing this week to promote the Work Zone Safety Awareness Week?
Well, we talked about the crash site. That is just something, just watch for those images and that opportunity this week. But also Wednesday, we're jumping on the national bandwagon. It's Wear Orange for Work Zone Safety. We want to see everyone kind of promote it for us. Get out there, wear your orange, and we wear these different colors all year round for different kinds of things. And Wednesday is our day to promote that, and it's a day that you can wear orange and maybe tell someone else about it, and remind them to be safe through work zones because they can affect your family and everything else. Yeah,
and you guys will be reaching out to local media to help promote these stories, and maybe some of the media will wear orange on that Wednesday as well.
Yes, exactly. So if you're watching in the morning, watching your traffic reporters, a lot of them will be wearing orange for you. And also take a look at our social media, especially on Twitter and Facebook at NDOT East. We have a couple surprises this week for sure, with some of our favorite celebrities in the Indianapolis area.
Awesome.
So they're going to help us kind of promote this whole week too. So take a look at that. Share it with your friends. I know they have an important message for us to share as well.
Yeah, how cool that social media gives us a platform to promote those types of things in a fun way. And that's what it's trying to do is not that it's not a serious topic, because it is. But if we can find a fun way to do it, maybe people will pay attention. And even Governor Holcomb's going to be on board, I understand.
Yes, he is. Governor Holcomb and his little dog Henry. We really like to get them involved, and they're very supportive of us and what we do. And so watch for him too.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, thank you very much for coming in and talking about this very important topic, Work Zone Safety Awareness Week this week. It's about the safety of everyone. You've tuned into the Indiana State Police Roadshow. Thank you very much.